I'm Trevor Crane. That hairier guy over there is David Wilkinson. And we should be live on LinkedIn and YouTube. So, hello, LinkedIn and YouTube. And this is a part of our series for epic authors. And so, David is one of our new epic authors. He has this momentum vortex behind him here. I have David here because he's announced a new book. Actually, the momentum book or books that David has done for the years. Like it was a decade ago, he wrote a book about momentum and what that means. And we started working together because he wanted to launch a new book, and David's going to tell you all about it and the dreams he has coming true. He's a new #1 bestseller of that book. And I know you're going to share with us how you're making it rain. But David, welcome to the show, and please riddle me this, dude. What's your dream? What's the mission? What is the vision? What are you creating? Why should anybody pay attention today? What does the entrepreneur vortex even freaking mean? Or am I even talking about that right? Like, what's the vision?
I got you, Trevor. Yeah, great to be on the show. So, my passion has been my entire life for business owners and entrepreneurs. That's who I love. I love the scale up process from zero to about $10 million. That's kind of my sweet spot. And I bump into people all the time that want to break through that six-figure and seven-figure mark. And so the vortex behind me, you're right, that's the graphic from my first book on creating momentum in your sphere of influence, becoming an entrepreneurial vortex. And so I talk about how do you create so much momentum that it crosses that tipping point, that critical mass that you just attract all these opportunities and clients and customers into your life. So that's kind of my mission. That's what I'm doing. I'm really excited about my weekly trainings, though. That's called Momentum Mondays, and that's what I'm really passionate about every single week.
Well, that's perfect segue into me just popping up the slides here to give that away. I know we had talked about this beforehand, and this is something that you sell. So, for those of you who enjoy what David and I are going to be talking about, I'll pop this up again so you don't have to do this. But I know we've got some gifts to give away, and this is one of them. David, I know you charge like weekly, or tell them what the Momentum Monday thing is, and let me give the call to action here. Send an email to aMomentumMinute@gmail.com, and you'll get this for free. Now, David, tell them what is it that they'd be getting for free.
Sure. So the service that we provide every week is for a half an hour motivational training. What I've found in coaching over 25 years is Mondays are typically the most difficult day of the week. So you're coming off of a weekend. Some people were able to take off Saturday and Sunday, and Monday sometimes feels like a grind. They're trying to ramp back up their excitement. They're going out and networking, meeting with their clients. And so I came up with the concept of having a half an hour, a very dynamic, inspirational training specifically for business owners and entrepreneurs to get them kick-started in their week. So it could be on, mindset, it's on motives, it's on methods. It's really geared toward the person that what they do in their week matters to their bottom line. So we talk a lot about how to exponentially grow your organization. We talk about generating exponential growth. We talk about how to lead a team, some of the problems and objections you have to overcome in the marketplace. So we like to allow everyone the opportunity to come for one Monday and just see what it's all about. Do you resonate with the training? Do you resonate with the topics? Because every single week it's different, and it hits on all of the nails that every entrepreneur and business owner needs to know how to bring their hammer down and bring the action home.
Well, let's go ahead and discuss why they might do this with some specifics, because you said you've been working with business owners and entrepreneurs and
Mhm.
helping them break through 6, 7 figure challenges in their businesses. And you described an entrepreneurial vortex. And I know that you've done that for yourself recently. And since we've been working with each other, you were revamping your business and starting something new with the Momentum Minute. And there are ways that you go about creating that momentum that puts more leads and opportunities in front of them than they can deal with. And I've seen you in about 100 days do that, where you went from nothing to something, and then being not overwhelmed, but full and having a waiting list for people who are going to do the next thing. So, talk a little bit more about the dream, the vision of what you're helping people create when they do this entrepreneurial vortex and how that's got context for your new book and beyond.
So, Trevor, when I talk about creating momentum, it's kind of like a bell curve. And so creating momentum is taking your idea for your product, your service, your company, a project, and it's getting that momentum to go up and over that tipping point. And when you don't understand about the law of momentum and how to use it, then what happens is that you take the ball up and almost to the tipping point and then it rolls back down again over and over and over. And people get burnt out and they get frustrated. And so on a Monday, it's to help you strategize this week. How are you going to get that momentum up and over the tipping point so that the momentum happens to you, that it almost overtakes you, that you're running away from the momentum that you have so that you have so many opportunities that are flooding,
Let,
your
let me plant a seed then. I'm going to interrupt Mr. Rude here, but let's go ahead and using the word imagine, David.
Mm.
Tell use a phrase that goes, imagine what it would be like, and then like read the minds of anybody watching right now and they'll describe what that looks like when they, and why don't you do this? Do it in the frame of how you describe the business that you have now with all of the opportunities that are in front of you, because you demonstrate what you teach by doing it, and I know you've got that. But bring me into the moment, bring the reader, the listener right now into the moment of imagine what it would be like if, and fill in the blank.
Sure. So imagine what it would feel, how you would experience if you had so much business coming to you that you had to restructure your organization and maybe even hire more staff to cope with everything that was happening. Imagine going to a networking event and instead of walking out saying that was a waste of time, walking away with 1 to 5 clients that say they want to hire you on the spot because you're the right person at the right place at the right time, sharing in a way that creates momentum for other people. Imagine for you to have to sometimes take a sleeping pill at night from your excitement because you can't wait to get up and do your business the next morning.
Okay. Excited sleeping pill. So what I'm doing, and David, I like to use I'm always so I keep notes in let me see, can I zoom out a little bit so that you can see this? I keep notes in a journal.
Yeah.
And so every time I'm interviewing you, I'm learning and I'm trying to write down what we're talking about. Now I need use these big Sharpies or crayons to go ahead and do that so that I can see myself. It's going to be hard for me to read my handwriting in the future. But what I like to do is take notes in what I call a value map because I want to know what that dream is. So when I'm asking you about the vision or the dream, I'm writing it down over here. And on my last episode, I shared a little bit this when I was talking to Rob, and I want to just share because we were shooting this live how I'm typically doing this. So I wrote down what you said about imagine. And these are all in the category here of what do you want? And you were like, hey, imagine waking up and then feeling like you're excited and whatnot. But I actually took the first things you said and I kept writing up the hill here.
Mm.
What you didn't share in that imagine is maybe your own personal journey of where you were
Mm.
before we started this new venture together. Now, I know you've had different successes and failures over the years. We can get into that. But like if we were to have an X marks the spot of where you were and some of the challenges, because you just said, I said, use the word, fill in the blank of imagine that was the life you're living now. So you just described that. You've had to consider restructuring your business and hiring new people and having new events and getting those clients. That's what you created. But where did you come from? Give clarity around that with a little bit of the drama or trauma that like, because not everybody is looking at that freaking reality right now and smiles as big as your ass waking up excited to start their day and go do their business. So it sounds like a little bit hokey pokey bullshit. Tell me what really was going on. And I know that there's ebbs and valleys in things as you go, but where did you go from to this? And maybe even, long fucking questions, the impetus of why you're doing this in the first place.
Okay. Well, why I'm doing this in the first place is by accident. I team taught with my dad a visionary leadership course in Atlanta in 2000, And by the time I was done, I had a group of business people surround me. They hired me to coach their people. And then they said, we're going to take you out to nice restaurants and teach you about business. Because I didn't know anything about business. And I didn't know that was going to turn into a lifestyle, a passion for coaching. That's why I do what I do. I coach. I am a coach. I don't coach. So everywhere I go, I'm always focused on those around me, how I can help them in their personal professional life.
So
That's my
what's the difference? So you said you are, I'm not a coach. I am a coach. What was that? I missed
Yeah,
that.
I don't coach. I am a coach. There's lots of people you talk to
Mm.
that went away for a weekend, got a certificate, and say, you know what, I can now do coaching.
Mm.
That doesn't mean they're a coach. That doesn't mean it's their passion. They may just want to do it to make money, and that's not who I am.
Okay, yeah, because I'm glad you said that because I've met a lot of coaches, and when I started doing coaching myself, it was something similar. I had some successes with some things, and people asked for help, and then I said, okay, I'll help you, and then I started charging a fee, and then I didn't feel comfortable with that fee, and I quit coaching for a while. But one of the reasons I quit coaching at when I started was I saw a lot of people calling themselves coaches who sucked so miserably at the things that they were coaching people around. I got disenchanted with the vocabulary of coach because I started to associate it not to some of my mentors, but to some people that I thought were, I don't know, not good at the things that they were coaching people on. It was like therapist heal thyself first, mother, so I'm glad that you said that. I am a coach. I don't coach. Got it. So that was the impetus. Take us back to this new iteration of you with the journey when we met so that people understand maybe what you were facing. You're your best here, David, to not just bullshit us, but tell me what were some of the fears and concerns and challenges that people really have and you have experienced. Like you go through it from time to time and we go ahead and rebuild. Most of the successful people I've ever met have times when like things aren't always awesome and then they use that as their catalyst to go ahead and fuel them. So take me back to that where you were, I don't know, 3, 6, 9 months ago, whenever we met, and maybe even share something that is real and vulnerable that I don't know. Because like, let's just not have this be baloney. Like, David's so awesome. Everything's awesome. It's always been awesome.
Right. So, Trevor, when you have a funnel that works really, really well and then it breaks, you don't know what to do with it. And so I had a funnel that has worked my whole life. It was first to go out into the marketplace and network, create partnerships, and speak for free. And then it was to have one-on-one coffees. And then it was to close on clients. And that funnel has worked for the majority of my 25 years. But a couple years ago, it broke and it just didn't seem to work anymore. And I met with not hundreds, but thousands of people, and I couldn't seem to figure out what was missing. And I didn't know that was actually one of my questions that I was bringing with me when I joined the Epic Author team. And
Hmm.
so when you and I were talking and you had a 2 hour, blueprint with me, we went over what my passion was and what my funnel was. You talked to me for about 90 days that there was a part missing in my funnel that was just not rocket science, but it was the missing piece. And you said, David, why don't you try this? And as soon as I did, it worked. And it didn't work a little bit, it worked flawlessly. The first 5 times that I implemented this new part of my funnel, every single person said yes, they paid for it, and every single one of them became my client. And I shook my head and said, wow, I didn't see that coming. I was thinking I was coming to author my second book. I walked away from the process saying, oh my goodness, this has revolutionized my business funnel. I'll never be the same again. So in my mind, it was a zinger. It was out of left field. I didn't see it coming. And it was so powerful that it literally revolutionized who I was as a person. And it really put my feet on strong ground that it wasn't there before I joined the Epic Author team.
So I always love hearing the successes that you have using this stuff that I teach. So I can't wait to hear more about that. Cause like, so do what I say, that's going to work. But let's go back. I want to take a step back also with like where you were, and I think where a lot of people are. And if you're not there, it's coming soon. Your business model is broken and it's dead. And I would challenge you to consider that right here, right now. Okay, so let me say that again. So if anybody's listening right now, David, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody else that is listening to this. With the transitions that are happening in a marketplace right now, your business is dead. The way that you've known it, the way that you've run it. Like it's not just David that said that he faced that. Like imagine that your funnel is broken. Like he had a successful business. He used to do a sequence of things. What I wrote down, you said, was networking, speaking, coffee, deals.
Yeah.
And this pattern used to work, but then for one reason or another, it didn't. And then there was something that was missing. Well, guess what? AI right now and whatever's happening in the marketplace with content and media and you name it, like we are in a new world, and to think that what worked yesterday is going to work today is just completely naive.
Yeah.
And it's a scary thing to consider because my mentor gave this to me recently. Trevor, your business is dead. And now if that's truly the case, and I'm talking to you right now, whoever you is, I'm talking to you, your business is dead. Now you have the opportunity to look at it and go, what is the business that I want to be in? Now, one of the ways that we did that, David, and you said you were giving Epic Author in this system credit for having helped you with it. We're on the Epic Author version of Make It Rain, which I'm happy to be talking about. One of the first things you did was you said, okay, I need help. Like, dude, seriously, kudos to you, because men don't typically like to stop and ask for directions, not necessarily, not even like ask for help. But when you're facing something that you haven't faced before or you're confused, like it is the smartest damn ass thing to do. The most successful people I've ever met have asked me for favors or questions and asked for help at the very beginning. Like, David, I need more help than anybody that I know. Like, I am actively seeking for more people that I can hire to help me do shit and make my dreams come true than anything. And so you having the courage to look in the mirror like I did when I first hired my first book mentor and say, I don't know how to do this thing. You've done this thing before. And I know that was your criteria when you hired me because we talked a little bit about this. You're like, well, I wasn't sure, Trevor, that you're the right guy. So you went through some times you were looking at me going, I don't know that you're the right guy for me. And we had these initial conversations, which is what you invited people to do. I'm going to pop up your slides here. If they send you an email, you can do this with them for go to aMomentumMinute@gmail.com and you can connect with David and he can go ahead and talk to you and help you and give you his insight on how you can create momentum and the results, this vortex of leads and things for your business that has transformed things since I've known you 4, 5, 6 months, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So this begins with you having the courage to say, I need help. Good Lord, guys, if you can't figure that one out, like, come on, man. I need help. You need help. We all need help. Now, next thing is, how do you pick your mentor? And in this case, you were looking, David, you're like, okay, who do I find around me that can help me? If we took this back to the story that you said started this whole thing on accident, that's what people did with you. You were at your dad's thing, supporting them and being a coach. And then you had people go, David, can you help me? And then you started learning new things. And so they sought you out as a mentor to help them with that thing. And you were positioned as an authority in that environment for your association with your dad and things, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so then you interviewed a mentor, just like I was interviewing you to say, would you be a good client to say, has this guy been where I want to go? Because he know how to solve this problem for himself and others. And I think like once you get clear about where you want to go, who's going to help you is the next most important thing.
Mhm.
And I know you shared this. I'm going to shush here for a second because I want you to share your perspective on finding a mentor and what it means to create momentum and the commitment that you said you made when you entered our Epic Author program that's unique from how I've seen anybody talk about it in the past. I know I had you talk about it to my clients on one of our coaching calls for you helping them with like how you achieve successes in a short period of time,
Mhm.
but you found the mentor and then you plugged in to try to take some advice from them and then you did what they recommended you do even though it scared the shit out of you or you didn't want to or whatever the thing was. Talk about the decisions of picking someone to mentor them and why, and you can use me or anybody in that example, and then specifically like how you create success quickly when you find the right mentor. How do you select a mentor and then work with them to get success quickly?
So I'm kind of a horrible example of this because I'm an executive coach. So I know a lot of secrets about how to pick the right person. So when it comes to picking a mentor or a coach, the most important thing is to make sure that you have the right chemistry. Because if you're going to literally, fillet your soul open to another person and say, I want help from you, please help me, there has to be chemistry there. It doesn't work if you don't have chemistry with your mentor or coach. I like Trevor. Trevor and I get along great. We laugh all the time. He's somebody that I said, this is a person I can trust with what I'm doing. So because we have chemistry, it's easy to have the relationship that creates momentum together. So if you don't like someone, it's okay. You're not the only one that doesn't like them. So, but if you do and you got chemistry with the person, that's a good sign because chemistry isn't something you can create. Either you have it or you don't. So number one is chemistry with your mentor or your coach. Number two, not just chemistry for your C. Number two, it's commitment. If you're going to do something with a mentor or coach, you need to be all in. It doesn't work if you have your toe in the water or one foot on one side and one foot on the other. You can't listen to two masters. You can't listen to two people. Decide if this is the person that you are going to commit to help you in your life's journey with your business. And if you are, go all in. Number three, you need to then decide by the way of conclusion that no matter what happens or how I think or how I feel, this will work. And I call that conclusion, that you're not leaving any room for doubt. You're not leaving any door open. I'm not sure if this works. So when Trevor and I talked together the first time, and he gave me a couple hours, and then the second time we had a blueprint together, I said, man, I got chemistry with this guy. This is the right guy. Can I commit completely, fully, utterly for him to mentor me in being an epic author? Yes, I can. Then you know what? No matter what he says or what he does, if he's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. I'm staying the course. And I concluded that this is going to work. And when I did that, that meant that every single time he was talking online that I could find, I put it in my schedule. I integrated into what he was doing, and then I got the secrets that I was looking for personally and professionally that has revolutionized not just how I think, but my business revenue. So those are kind of the top three reasons when you're looking for a mentor or coach. Those three are preeminent in my mind how to make something successful like this.
Okay. I'm always writing notes and I write back and forth in my journal and then in such a way that I can share that chicken scratch with my audience. So I'm going to share with you what I heard back, and you gave a great frame, all with alliterations, which I think is phenomenal. And I'm going to go ahead and take it upon myself to expand this just a little bit as well. So my little description here and what I thought you would say was in blue or some version thereof. And then what you said was this other thing. So this is really good because this is just like a combination of us helping you. Okay, so what you did is you made up your mind. Now, I think that's what you didn't say in this example,
Hmm?
but you had to decide, I need help.
Yes.
And you were like, okay, because I had to look in the mirror. I just zoomed in. You had to look in the mirror and say, hey, dude, like I need help. Like me, I'm open to receiving help because what I'm doing is not working. Like that's just clarity of the thing. Like, okay, there's a result I want that I don't have. Who can help me get there? So then you pick the mentor because that's when we met. And then you're like, okay, I'm like, how do you pick your mentor? Now, you didn't say the things I thought you're going to say. Instead, you said this other stuff: chemistry, commit, and conclusion. Now, this is really key. Now, chemistry is just the language you use of how you picked me. I thought you're going to say how I pick a mentor is like, have they done the thing that I want to do? And have they helped other people do it? Now, I guess that's part of it as well. You're like, but your framework was awesome because it's like you wanted to make sure you enjoyed this because you're going to be all in. Because what I heard you do was that you commit. And you said, okay, when Trevor says to do this thing, I may not like it, I may not understand it, I may not whatever. And in this case, you picking the mentor, you're like, I'll do it anyway. So I had you post on social media more than you'd ever posted before. And then you were like, I don't like it. And I said, post 3 times a day. And you're like, I'll do the best I can. I didn't post 3 times a day, but you posted more than you'd ever posted. And you posted some of the things that I recommended you post. And you started getting more successes than you'd ever had before. And you're like, okay, well, that worked. So you were committed And then you concluded that you're going to keep plugging in. The other thing you did, and one of the things, this is really key, I thought you're going to say this as well, is that when you, okay, I'm going to share another little frame. When you pick, okay, when you pick what you're going to say, who your mentor is going to be, what it is that you want, you then have to go out and I wrote profit here just as I was trying to write fast, but I like you to you promote in profit, like you want to start your promotion and things with it. But then what you did is you plugged in. You plugged into me. Dude, you were saying offline before we started this that you plugged into some coaching calls I had, and I give my clients a lot of access to Trevor Crane and my team. How many hours a week in the first month or few that we were working did you actually plug into? Talk a little bit about the way that you wanted to plug into content, because my most successful clients will typically do something similar as you, is they show up a lot and they
Mhm.
ask a lot of questions and they show up to learn. But share that piece because it's really powerful and I know it's something that sets apart success.
So, Trevor, I don't think most people that are your epic authors know this because I don't know if I've ever shared it. But when I made the commitment to be an epic author, I took my schedule and I put in there repetitive times that you're there that I don't plan anything else in. It's a different color. And I've got this is epic author. We do this every Monday, this time and this time. We do this every Wednesday from this time to this time. And I don't allow other things to compete with it. So because of that, then I didn't say this. Oh yeah, I commit to Trevor and I will work around my life and try to fit my mentor into it. I didn't do that. I said, no, 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 no. I committed. What does that mean? That means that I actually revolve my life around his training. And that's what I did. So for not just a day, a week, or a month, month after month after month after month, it's been more than 6 months now, unless there's some crisis or something that happens, or I think I got sick for a couple weeks, but I am on every single time that you are on because I'm not willing not to get the gold that I'm looking for mentorship. And so I didn't say, oh, well, I see if I can make this. I see if I can make this. No, I put it in my schedule. And then I revolved all of my clients, my time off, my time doing anything else was wrapped around my schedule, ensuring that Epic Author was my highest priority.
Well, and you did something else that I think oftentimes people don't do. I see my wife do it because she's one of the best coachees I've ever seen. Like when my wife picks her mentor, she does whatever the hell they have to say. And she'll do it for a period of time until like she gets disenchanted with them. Like that'll show up at some point. But like at the beginning of a relationship, and it can be weeks or months or years that she works with a mentor, as long as what they're doing is working for her, she is the most coachable client they've ever had. And then she just creates phenomenal successes with it. But you said, and it's your third C in the thing, and then its conclusion. You concluded that this guy or path or plan and mentor in this case is going to be the one that's going to deliver me to the promised land. So you believed that what you're doing is going to get you to the result because that guy or gal that you hired is going to be the path, the vehicle, the whatever. And you're the when I was drawing on my thing here, and I said you have to have the mindset that you are open to receiving help, that you want to find a mentor who can help you get there, and then they give you the map.
Yeah.
And the map are the steps that you just said change your calendar. You're like, okay, well, if this is the map, I'm going to do it. And if one of the things is to plug in and create the momentum that I need to create, I'm going to show up there. And now you got to go make it happen. Now you actually took the action to go do the thing. A lot of people don't do that either. Those are all M's. That's my version of the thing that you just gave. But dude, that is a phenomenal example of why you've built so much business in such a small period of time. I should have said this earlier, dude. Here's the thing that you guys are getting from David. Inside of about 100 days, and you can correct me, dude, if I'm off on this, you closed over $100,000 in 1 month. Now, it took you the momentum of starting this process, and it took month one and month two and month three. And did we want you to make 100 grand in the first 7 seconds? That would have been my preference. But it didn't happen in 60 days. It didn't happen in 75 days. It didn't happen by day 90. I don't remember what it was for you, but you went 5 for 5 in your new funnel that you created on clients. And then in the first quarter, it took you about 100 days, ballpark, if I'm wrong. And then you build $100,000 worth of new business in 1 month, and you had speaking gigs and you have new opportunities. And I know you have a new really big opportunity at your plate. So correct me if I'm off on anything, and these are also you celebrating. I'd like you to toot your horn a little bit about the momentum that you've created and the abundance that you've got, and transition this into like what's next for you, because you mentioned needing to hire for new resources and new things and yada yada. So this is wrapping it up, because we need to wrap this up and move on to our next show as well. So this is just anyway. I don't want to freaking re-answer. Go for it.
Yeah, I would just say, Trevor, that momentum is tangible. It is something that you either have or you don't have. And when you find someone else that has a lot of momentum, it may look different from you, but if you graft into that, you can use that same momentum for yourself and your business. So when I saw, wow, Trevor has all this momentum with all these areas, and even though they're not connected to me, I'm going to graft into that momentum, learn what he's doing, bring that momentum into what I'm doing. And when that happened, yeah, it was 90 days of taking your momentum and bringing into what I'm doing. And then it was tangible, it was electric, it happened. And now there's a whole bunch of other things that are taking place that is because of that momentum is spinning off into so many other opportunities.
And so here's your opportunity to be specific. And maybe there are reasons you're not being specific right now, but I'm asking for specific. So numbers, because I just said 100 grand and 5 of these and 10 of those and something big. Like what are some specifics of what you created in that time frame, and what's next for you? Because I'm leading into that what's next. This is tying back to like what's the dream? Like you're going to say, oh, now, so this is what I created,
Okay.
and then this is what's next.
So I created in the first 90 days a the best partnership with a chamber I've had in 25 years. I
Quantifiably, that's worth about how much?
$20,000. We had an exchange for services, so I'm their top third visionary stakeholder.
Okay.
Then I was able to speak 3 times in 1 week. And because of the new formula that you helped me develop and to fix my own, I was able to meet with 5 people. All 5 of them met with me one-on-one. All 5 of them paid for the strategic planning session, and all 5 of them then became clients in my executive coaching program.
Okay, and this is unique. So what he's sharing with you is the same framework that he said he had a funnel that wasn't working. Then he inputted this funnel that worked, and it took 90 to 100 days, whatever that was. Sounds like you don't have the specifics on that. That's close enough. Um, but new speaking gigs, new partnerships, and then 5 for 5 clients. How often in the past did you go 5 for 5 on clients?
Oh, it's been years. It's been
Okay, so not
since,
often. So
no,
then
10
there were
years.
some nuanced things that we came up with there for your offer and
Mhm.
how you would sell it. And he just shared with you that he made a sale, initial sale to everybody for
Mhm.
something small. I'm telling everybody, I want them to know what happened. David said, hey, if you want to buy something from me, buy something small, $500 or less. Am I right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then you said, now buy my high ticket thing. And they all said yes. And then that equaled a significant amount of business over 6 figures. Am I
yeah,
right?
that's
Okay,
correct.
cool. So speaking gigs, clients, and 100% conversion of that. And that has now led to what? Now, this is you transition even more successes, specifically if you can be. And then, like, what's next? Because, David, I want to invite you back. I want to invite you back when book number 2 is done. Because David started off years ago having done a book, and now we've got the new book, The Entrepreneurial Vortex. I know you're already a bestseller with that. I know that we're going to be, correct me if I'm wrong, you're already a bestseller with that book, right?
Not yet.
Okay, so that's on your agenda. We need to create
Yep.
bestseller for that new book. Because look at this, dude. This is profit before you publish, baby. For the first 100 days, he did the things to go ahead and create the momentum so that now we can prove the content. So you're not even a bestseller yet. Um, awesome. Talk to me about like those other successes that I don't know and the audience doesn't know, and what's next.
Well, momentum sometimes like a boomerang. You're kind of flinging mud at walls and you don't know what's going to come around. So one of the things that happened that was way out of left field, I had a lady that I met down in Sarasota, Florida a few years ago, met her one time. I couldn't have picked her out of an audience. And she sent me a LinkedIn message and said, "Hey, David, give me a call. I got an opportunity for you. And, that usually means it's something, that's not applicable. That's usually what it means. But we got on the phone and come to find out she's worked with the government for over 24 years and she's licensed and all that kind of stuff and went through the hoops. And she, she said, David, I have an opportunity for you to develop curriculum for the top 30 leaders and they want a proposal and it's about curriculum development and about motivating people. Are you interested? And so it took about 40 hours. I developed a 17-page proposal. It's almost a half a million, the largest proposal I've ever done in my life. And I'm so excited about it. But no matter if it happens or not, Trevor, it happened on your watch. And that's what people need to understand. When you find the right mentor and you graft into it, you will have opportunities that will show up in your inbox because of the right momentum that had nothing to do with you. It had to do with how you committed and believed and didn't waver and continued to fight the good fight, finish the race, keep going even when you fell down, because it will pay off in the end.
David, I love it. Let me go ahead and give you one more opportunity to cast the vision here of a specific result that you're hoping happens in the next little bit, because you have new opportunities, a new bigger deal, and you're not quantifying things. So I'm going to do it for you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong again. That I think you're looking at an over $500,000 client here in the government contract that is pending, which is a little bit more than some of the one-on-one clients that you've had in the past, and that transitions your business. And when you said, imagine what life would be like when, you're describing your life. And now you have this thing where you're, oh my God, I might need a new team. I might need to transition my business model and different things. So what is the dream of what you're trying to make happen in the next 90 days, in the next 1 year? Include the bestseller, dude. Let's be specific, and no more coaching. Just what is David going to create over the next 100 days to year?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say number one, getting my second book written and become a number one bestseller. Number two, have this contract under my belt where they say yes, and we started that. I'm getting two new offices just in 3 days, so I'm pumped about that. And really, I would like 1,000 entrepreneurs and business owners on my Momentum Mondays that I'm inspiring every week and just hear the stories of all the exciting things that are happening in their lives because of that stimulating catalytic moment that gets them kickstarted for their week. And that would make my life very full.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat this back to everyone so that you heard it and you can model what his goals are. Okay, because I've got the language here for everybody that can be the same thing. So, new number one best-selling book. Okay, like come on, guys. Like I've got 20 books I've done. I would like my next number one best-selling book. So to write it and have it be bestseller, that's awesome. So you can all go for number one. Um, and then close one big deal. Like, wouldn't it be nice to have a new big deal? Maybe the biggest deal you've ever closed. Like, what I think everybody could go ahead and align with that as a goal. Like, hey, I want one big deal. Now just you got to name it. One fell in David's lap because he started taking the actions that create the abundance and the vortex and the things that happen. And then one specific tangible goal of a certain number of people doing a certain number of things. And in this case, it's 1,000 people that participate in the most important thing that you think you can give people, which is your Momentum Minute. And that is for free for everybody. If you go to aMomentumMinute@gmail.com, I'm putting up a QR code here. Don't use a QR code because that will take you to the page to buy the thing and spend money. So don't do that. But if you want to join for free, you have to send David an email. Go to aMomentumMinute@gmail.com. And David, I failed on this live show to talk to our live audience at all. I forgot that. I know we've got someone else sitting in the waiting room who wants to talk to us. So I forgot to ask Len, do we have anybody who was asking any questions and has anything that you can address before we wrap things up? And then I need to transition to our next show. So to wrap things up, dude, last message to everybody. And then Len, that's giving you a second to go ahead and see of any of the questions coming in, what's the one that we're going to pose to David? And then we'll transition this. And thank you guys for following us on LinkedIn and YouTube. And if you want to join our live audience, go to jointrevor.com and we'll get better at making this happen. I'll talk to you more live to make sure that we do this better. But David, last chance to say something badass to this badass group of people.
I would say that with somebody who's had anti-momentum and tons of momentum, that your best days are yet ahead. And I would love to be a person in your life to stimulate your momentum, to really get it really large up and over that tipping point that together we can celebrate. And I look forward to being that person in your life.
Well said, brother. Do what he said, what he said. Len, do we have a question that we can go ahead and bring in with everyone? And I'm not sure I shared in such a way that your sound will work here. So I'll double check that. But can you, I'll repeat the question once you give it to me.
No, we don't have questions. We don't have comments.
Okay. Well, then, David, I'll come up with one. How young are you?
I'm 52.
52 years, beautiful. Oh my God, what an amazing dude. You don't look a day over 51. No, seriously.
Thanks, Trevor.
All right, we are going to go to our post game here. Let me see if I can make it so you can see this. We're going to go to our post game. We're going to stay live for a second because I don't like to just transition here to nothing. Because I like to go ahead and involve people in what we're going to do for the next episode as well. So, David, you freaking rock, man. I'm so excited for your successes, and it's always great to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and see who we have in the waiting room and bring them in. And I'm excited to give you the resources that we're going to put forward. Oh, I should take that off your face. Because the intention of this, David, is I want this to be the beginning of your new content revolution. So ideally, we've got a really great show that we just recorded, and then we're going to edit it, make it awesome, and then I want to give you little clips of you saying awesome stuff. And then as I challenged you to put out more content when we first started working together, I'm challenging you to go at it again and bring in even more content, put out more value, and plan on the big deals not coming through. So you go take the actions that are going to create even more abundance. I'd rather have you have the quality problem of like, oh my God, I have even more people on my waiting list than I do already. Because I know we've talked about it and you said, well, I don't need any more clients right now. And I barely have time for more speaking gigs. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the perfect time to go make it rain, to go take more of the actions that fill the funnel. So, ideally, in the next couple of weeks, you'll see some new cool edits that we have of the content coming out. And then this is the beginning, dude. So anything else to say, ask before we transition?
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Trevor, for having me on the Make It Rain show. I really appreciate it.
You got it, man. And here we've got Dominic Karuba. Dominic, we're already live on YouTube and LinkedIn. I think this is the post-game, pre-game. And I'm just getting accustomed to going live. So if you're watching on either of those channels, we'll get better. And please comment in the comments. We have one of our team members, one of our rainmakers, connecting with you to invite you to join us live as well. Go to jointrevor.com and you can join our live recordings of the podcast or the different shows that we are moving forward towards having. And this is part of the Epic Author Show. I'm interviewing all of our epic authors we're publishing. David, thank you for being here, dude. I'll talk to you soon. I can tell you're like, I got another appointment. Other billionaires need my time. I got it. Okay.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks. All right. And you are not David Wilkinson. You apparently go by another name, Dominic Karuba. So, dude, I'll take that off. We're going to go ahead and go behind the scenes here just a little bit. And Len, I think it's probably time to say bye-bye. We'll be back in a few minutes live, but this gives me a chance to connect with Dominic for a few to start the show. So that's what we're transitioning to.
Awesome.
See ya. Peace out if you're still watching.